everyone. Welcome to the Runners community. Well, yeah, welcome to the Runners community. Welcome to the Runners interview, episode 8. Now, very much thanks to Sarah Prince who came on last week. Absolutely tremendous person to have on the Runners interview, and it went down really well. So many people have viewed that on YouTube and listened to it on their runs and had such great feedback on the podcast. So I put a post out about 2 or 3 days ago, I think it was, to see who else wanted to come on the Runners interview podcast, and someone started nominating someone else, and I didn't initially put that in the post. Said, please tell me if you want to come on. But people started nominating each other, and I thought, well, that's cool, that's good, we'll go for that. And I'm pleased to say we've got a gentleman called Gavin Clark who's coming on. Now, the interesting thing with Gavin, because the running community group is a group of 30,000 people, I actually don't know too much about him, but I like that because we're going to find out all about him now. So, Gavin, welcome to the Runners interview.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Like I said, I don't know too much because, as you know, there's so many members in there. So it's going to be really interesting. So I'm
Gavin. I'm 43 years old. Born in Northwest London, now living in Stevenage. Married to the lovely Celine. Father to Amelia. I'm a civil servant. Also, I'm an event singer, so performing in pubs, clubs, celebrations, weddings, bar mitzvahs, all that sort of thing.
Awesome.
Aspiring singer, songwriter, bedroom producer. Love writing, recording music, and you might have probably seen from my posts. I love running, but I'm a running shoe geek fanboy. So I'm a wannabe shoe tuber. But the ideal thing was that they would. The companies would send me free shoes to review, but I think that's one way to go before I do that. But yeah, and I'm a slow runner, but yeah, that's that.
I love that. I must admit, although I don't know much about you, I did have a sneaky look on your Instagram last night, and I did notice your singing and guitar, and I was like, awesome, it's brilliant. I did notice you was a bit of a shoe tuber, and I do
aspiring, yes.
Aspiring. No, well, I do a few shoe reviews now and again. It's actually great fun, so I can see the attraction.
Yeah, to it. It's labour of love, isn't it? It's the only thing you could just watch. You watch the guys that talk about, for about 15 minutes about midsole foam and things like that, and and it's the most geekiest, nerdiest thing. But only certain people would understand, isn't it? So.
It really is. Yeah, they start talking about the upper, the top,
exactly.
The upper, midsole, outsole, and the hill counter and the lasers. It's madness. But if you go on YouTube, I think it's the most popular category to do running is running shoes.
It's just blown up, hasn't it? I think so, especially all the super shoes. Carbon plated things. I think it's just blown up, and I think ones that I've watched like Ed Budd and 40 runs. I think they said that their subscribers have just gone through the roof since lockdowns happened, and people just had more time to do it, taken more time to watch the videos and things like that. So and
it's definitely a geeky thing. It is a geeky thing, and it's a time-consuming thing for the host as well. Doing it, it's so time-consuming. What I found. When I did mine, it's like, whoa, it takes a lot of time, but it's great fun either way.
That's what I mean. You talk about the thing that you love. What more can you want, really, isn't it?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And thanks, Gavin, for joining us tonight, because I know you wanted to watch the England game, so
That's all right. No, I'm not. It's so little riding on that one. If you can't beat them, so.
Exactly, can't we know you don't really deserve to be in the competition? Right. And the initial question after this is, what actually made you start running?
Okay, well, it's I've had sort of a love-hate relationship all my life with running. I have actually been running since I was a kid. My dad was like an athletics coach. I was part of the Queen's Park Harriers athletics club, but and so every Saturday, from like I was 8 or 9 year olds, I was going to athletics meetings, at Battersea track, and then in the winter having to do those awful cross countries in the mud, in the wet, and you just did it in your vest and your shorts, no matter what, no matter, even if it was just like icy and all that. And I think and as I said, it's more because my dad was doing it. I don't think I really enjoyed it much as a kid, and I think I had the record of probably coming last in the most races. And I think I didn't really appreciate that it was actually a good thing I was doing it, because I was, actually a very lanky, streaky person, believe it or not, in those days, and it probably did, keep me in good weight. And then usual thing, you sort of turn 18, you start going out. Oh yeah, so prior to that, I was doing the mini marathons, the London mini marathons. So that's my experience. So I did a lot when I was younger, and I did enjoy it. Enjoy the whole experience. And you got the whole backpack, the whole goodie bag that you were given and all that sort of stuff. When I'm thinking back of it, and then usual thing, you sort of turn 18, you start going out, socializing, drinking, smoking, and then you get lazy. You just think, oh well, what am I doing that for? And then got married, and then I think I was playing five-a-side football with friends about 10-15 years ago, probably about 2005, and I basically broke my leg, and and it was not it was more sort of fractures, but I got fractures like everywhere.
Wow.
In the foot as well, and obviously about 6-7 weeks was in the plaster cast, bloomed up in weight, and could see, in the pictures then I was just embarrassed of like how I looked. And then I was just determined, once obviously I was sort of recovered, I was just determined I need to sort of get fit again. But I thought, but what if I don't really like it? So, and then I think I just went to Sports Direct. I bought like the cheapest pair of trainers I could find, because I couldn't find my old ones. I probably outgrown them. No, it was it was like the cheapest Diodora you ever known. It was like $7.9. Yeah, which, to be fair, they've actually done some decent trainers since. But then it it was like real Sports Direct cheap and nasty trainers, and I was just running around the field, time and time again. And then I think I just did a bit more each time. I sort of really started getting into fitness and went to the gym. And at that time, so 2009, lost a lot of weight. I think then I just sort of upped my distance, gradually got 5K to 10K, sort of half marathon. I've never really gone too much far over half marathon. Okay. It sort of helped me, I found, especially in, my dark times, obviously I had issues with stress and anxiety, mental well-being, it's even before it. Nowadays it's even more in the, in the media and all that, but then it just, especially like the endorphins it gives you, it just sort of raises you, and it just helped me stay level-headed, deal with really stressful moments in my life, and things like that. I don't want to answer too many questions so far.
No, that's
it was a bit of a loading.
That's fine. No, it's interesting you mentioned about mental health, because it sounds like, did you suffer with mental health quite a few years back as well, then, before it was press? Yeah, because like you said, it's only the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years it's really come.
Yeah, it was more in the, in the media, mainstream now. It's now even with the workplace. I think, as I said, I had a lot of issues with work, being under a lot of pressure. I think, as I said, I was doing a lot of gigs.
Yes.
Just burning the candle at both ends, just tire myself out, and then just did a few sort of silly things and all that, and and I think the running just helped me, keep my level-headed and all that. And it's just, even when the hardest things would be thrown at me, I could just think I can go for a run, and it would just, and be in my own world, put on headphones, put on music, put on Radio 5 Live, listen to whatever football game's playing at the time or whatever, chat, and just, be my solitary moment. And it's just really saved my life, I'd say, No,
that's awesome. That's great to hear. No, it's very important to get out there. It's a good head clearer. It just, there's so many positives, isn't there? It's like a therapy, almost.
Definitely.
Oh,
it's just a natural lever, isn't it? And just really enjoy it. So.
No, that's good. And obviously, how long have you been running? I know you said you dabbled as a kid when you was running and so on, but
so it's been in sort of 2 parts. So you could sort of say from, probably 7 till 18, and then just stopped probably in about 24, 25, just got back into it.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Probably around 2007, and then dropped in and out of it. My weight did drop down, and then obviously it sort of zooms back up again. But it's always something I've gone back to. I've always and now obviously I'm into like the trainers, the running shoes, but back then I was sort of always going, because near my work there was the sports director, and I was just always buying all the running apparel, like the running tops, the leggings and all that. I was just trying, and in the middle aisle in Aldi they'd have like the cheaper stuff, and I just, I just really got back into it again. So I lost my train of thought there.
No, that's all right. No worries at all.
Yeah, but yeah, as I said, so it's about 2009, and then I think this period, when I've been really busy, I've only sort of done it sporadically. We got, obviously when the lockdowns happened and you've had more time, I've been working from home since like March, so it's like been able to actually do it every day. I think that's the one thing I noticed is the lockdown. I was always complaining when I was working in the office. I was driving there, and I'd thinking, if I could just be at home, I could just go and do some exercise. And obviously the first month or so, I just wasn't really bothering. And then like everyone, we were all eating too much and all these things. And then now, and this is, I joined the groups like, the running community, and I see people on like their 380th day, running street day. And I think, with respect to everyone, they're all great, influential guys, and why can't I do that? Why should I try? And obviously you see people like Eddie Izzard, who's, he could do those exceptional things, and it just gives you the push really to do it. And
really inspirational. Sarah, who was on obviously last week, she hit a year on running streak, and people do it, but it does give you great inspiration to try out and get out and run. And you often see Sarah's runs, for example, go up sometimes at like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm kind of up for work at 6. I'm like, oh, Sarah's been out, or someone's been.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I've been doing that as well. I've been getting up at 4:30 to do it. But I'm a bit fortunate because I'm working from home.
Yes.
But obviously I've got to do this. It was all right when my daughter was homeschooling. So but now I've got to take her to school. I really just can't cope now the rest of the day. I just feel like dozing off all the time. That's the problem, isn't it? Yeah.
How old is your daughter?
She's 9.
Yeah, so not in the running buggy. A bit too old for the running buggy now.
So, as I said, she comes on the bike with me and sometimes, but she's an outrunner.
No, there's good. Yeah, there is good advantages, isn't there, from working from home? I don't myself, but I can see, I can see the advantages of that, definitely.
But that's the thing. It's been over a year, and I didn't think it would ever. As I said, I'm a civil servant, so I don't want to go into too much of what I do there. But
no, that's fair.
They gave us the devices to work from home, and a lot of things didn't go right for people, and it's really left them in an unfortunate situation. And I think I've just been fortunate in that instant. They did give us these devices that we can work from home, but they would never give us the days before. And then obviously COVID happened, and then as I said, it's been since March. It's been over a year now, and now I don't know what I'm going to do going back into the office. It's going to be real, I just don't know how it's going to be. It's going to raise my anxiety and all these things. But I'm aware it will come at some point. But I'm enjoying it whilst I can. So that's one thing I always said. I'm going to just take advantage of it, run as much as I can, get as fit as I can. No excuses.
No, that's good. It's good you're aware of it as well. You were actually come to that day, I suppose, when you're going to go back into the office and but that's good you're aware of it, and good you're taking advantage of what's going on now. Yeah, really good. Yeah,
so just enjoying it.
No, fair play to you. And your favourite place to run?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I don't really sort of drive to. I see some people go to nice beauty spots, but I live in Stevenage, so you know, it's just typical post-war towns. You know, it's got lots of cycle paths and a few parks, and it's nice though. But I'm lucky. I do live near Boxwood, so I've got a woods there. It's nice to run through there. It's you know, woodland. I don't know really. It just sort of depends, and I think it's just whatever the weather's like. So if there's, when I'm going running in the morning, I see the sun come up. That's nice to see. When I'm in Fairlands Park, you know, which is in Stevenage, you know, one of the other members, Paula Hayward, she's on this. She posts pictures of it's nice running through there because you've got the ducks through there. But yeah, it's as I said, I just sort of run around my area. It's a nice loop. You know, it's quite hilly. It's quite testing. It's, you know, so it's not flat. So you know so if you're going to start and you're going to go down the hill, you know, you're going to have to end up coming back up it, and it's going to be really, you know, a sapper. But you do feel like, you know, you know, it's a real, it works your legs, you know, it's not just a flat boring course. And I can't do like loops of the same, you know, like you have to sometimes loop back on yourself to make up that distance. And I hate doing that. I always have to try and run somewhere different. I've, you know, gone into side streets that I don't know of and all that, and you sort of get lost. But yeah, as I said, just, I sort of try and plan my route that it just, runs a loop back to my house. But yeah.
But you know, it's going to be. I'm similar to you. Yeah, it's hilly where I live. I've got no choice. I'm going downhill first of all.
Yeah.
Massive hill, and everywhere else around, I haven't got any really flat areas where I am. But
whereabouts are you?
I'm in Pulborough in West Sussex.
Oh, cool.
So not too far. But yeah, it is just hilly all over. But it is a great advantage to get you a bit fitter, I find, you know.
Yeah.
There's always been an advantage out of it. I haven't done much racing recently, but when I used to, one of the big things I was good at was running uphill, and people just used to fall off sometimes. And
I'm seeing them say that, isn't it? Yeah. That, you know, include hill runs. And so you just don't have a choice, Stephen. No. You just can't avoid it, you know.
Even when you go for an easy paced run, it's like, well, I'm still doing hills, so
yeah,
you get more.
That's what I mean. and I said, I find that you just, I don't sort of slow down now. I'm just like a consistent pace going up. You know, some you know, and yeah, it's just getting used to them. You know, and just keeping it sort of regular pace.
I always try to do that now. Yeah, because of the hills around here and because of how long I've run around here, I'm similar. I try and keep the pace when going uphill now.
Yeah, you lose your momentum, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
lose it. Yeah, no, exactly that.
And then it's hard to keep it going again. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And motivation to run. What keeps you motivated to keep going out there?
Well, I think it's just that. All I've noticed is when I don't run, I just start getting like the anxiety, and I just think that, you know, it's I don't know, you feel like you're missing out on something. I think, and if I see other people on the group running, you know, and that before I was always sort of having 2-3 days off. Now I feel everyone's running every day. Wow, you know, it's just, I know people do take days off. I know, and it's all your own personal choice. But I don't know, you just sort of feel, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? What's my excuse? And obviously I'm not so busy now. There's nothing much else to do. So and I don't know. And sometimes I've got like loads of podcasts that I've got to catch up on. You know, I think, well, when am I going to get a chance to listen to them? I need to go out on the run to do them. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's I bought new shoes, and I've only given them one run. I've not given them a proper test. You know, and 10K is not enough. You need to do a longer one. You know, because they say that the midsole doesn't get warmed up and things like that, and you know, there's always lots of excuses, and often the weather, isn't it? I think the weather just, if it's a nice day, I must run if it's a nice day, you know.
It makes a big difference.
You know, you feel like you just missed out on something. You sort of setting these like little, you know, targets to yourself that, you know, what's your reason for not running? You know, that's often what it is. But I think before the pandemic, it was just, well, when can I fit in a run? You know, when, I'm going to be too busy. So, you know, I'm too tired, and
Yes.
you know,
It wasn't high on the priority list, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and you're trying to work all week, and I do it in the evening at those points, and now I'm just doing it in the morning and the afternoon. I don't really run in the evening, and I think that's the thing. Now I've understood what it's like to run in the morning. It feels a lot safer because there's only people going out to work first thing. But in the evenings, it's not as safe. You got a lot of the youths hanging around under the bridges and things like that, and obviously all the things that have been in the news. It's unfortunately, with these new towns, there's a lot of kids and they just smoke weed all the time under the bridges, and it's quite intimidating. And I can understand what it's like for females, women runners, and as I said, and even I've sort of had things shouted at me whilst I'm running, and you feel like running on the other side, but in the morning you don't sort of generally get that, and
no, that's good. I was going to ask if you've been shouted at and stuff, and so on.
As I said, I think the funniest one was I'm not going to swear, but this is boy in his beat up old Ford Fiesta, probably like B-Reg, and souped up, and was just wearing like a high. He says, "You high vis W," It's like, and I was just, it's like cheap. And you've had people sort of run up to you as they're trying to run with you. It's fun, isn't it? But I think generally I've been all right. But as I said, I can understand it's unnerving some people, and even like just when you're running past another runner, should you sort of say hello to them, or should you keep yourself to yourself? And I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. You don't want to sort of be in people's faces, and and sometimes it's a solitary moment, isn't it? And but I do it with people.
The hello thing. It's been out in the media quite a bit lately, hasn't it? I mean, ladies and men, do you say hello? You put your thumbs up, do away, or are you making someone feel nervous by doing that? Recently about it, it's a really difficult thing, but it's a tough one because I wouldn't want to take away not saying hello to people.
I do the thumbs up. That's generally, and you groan something, as you're running by, because it sort of catches you unawares, if they've said something to you and you try to.
And I totally understand on the other aspect of that, if someone's in the zone and they just want to be left alone, if you don't get a wave back, you don't get a wave back. Don't take it to heart.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
I think some people do sometimes. It is what it is. Some people don't want to be interrupted during a run, and some people are fine with it,
And I think they just, most of the time, I think they just didn't realise, And then they
especially if they're punching themselves or something like that,
That's what I mean.
Hello.
That's what I mean. They shout something to you, and you so annoyed. And I don't know if you filmed yourself after like a run and you tried to talk into the phone and you listen to it after, and you sort of 1 minute it's up your nose and you go, but at the time it sounded so inspirational. But when you look at it afterward, what do I sound like?
Yeah, when I've got a few videos on YouTube of me doing a run. I think when I took the Revis out or something like that, I was going to review on them. And I remember when I first got the GoPro and I was practicing to run with the GoPro. It's a practice that did. And funny enough, you mentioned the shoe reviews. When I'm running, trying to record, kind of holding a GoPro down here, it's like, oh my god, trying to run.
I know it doesn't. But that's the thing. Do you actually know if it's actually filmed you right, and if you missed it? That's what I wondered. And if you completely missed the shot. Yeah,
I'm trying to pass the GoPro around in a 360 circle around my body whilst I'm running.
Yeah.
That's awkward. That's really awkward.
I know, and it's not got any of the shoe, but it's got a nice bit of your backside,
Exactly. But
that's what I mean, and have the stylistic, dance music, in the background, pumping high energy dance music,
But no, it's interesting. I mean, I run at work quite a bit. I use my lunch break and go for a run at work. Around my area at home, I don't get too much abuse, but it's funny. At work, the roads I run, it hasn't happened often, but I've had workmen shout things out to me. Just a white van workman. Nothing, no offense to them, but mostly I've had people shout out, "Dang wanker," whatever.
That's what I mean.
I don't want to hear, but all sorts of little things. I've even had get off the, because it's all road, literally it is road on the road.
Yeah.
Get off the road, you effing this, you effing
Yeah.
that. I just ignore it.
As I said, obviously in the lockdown, you know, and I was going in the afternoons, the weather's, you know, the days are getting a bit lighter in the afternoon, and it's just women pushing, you know, their baby buggies around. And it's like these double ones taking up the whole path, and the whole family walking across the whole pathway. Or you get old people, and then they're just, when you, I said I put the snood on, or buff, whatever you call it, you know, and buy it. And when they see me, suddenly put it and they're pinning themselves to the thing, and then it makes you sort of think, right, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm not going to be like, you know, I don't want to be petty and all that, but you just think, all right, calm down. I'm not, you know, I literally am holding my breath when I'm walking, running past them. I'm like, you know, because isn't it? It's all this thing that we are sort of spreading the virus, the runners, around the enemy, you know, and obviously the Piers Morgan trying to sort of say, that we're, you know, peacocks and things like that, which is unhelpful, and they say that we're sort of running on spitting everywhere, and yeah. As I said, I generally just try and keep out of people's way, but at the same time, I don't want to run on those grass verges when someone can just move over. It annoys me. I understand if they can't see me from behind, but when you're running towards them and they don't move out of the way, it really does. You know, this is this game of chicken, isn't it? Are they going to move? You know, so
it's frustrating when they see you from a long way, or they know you're coming and they don't move. It always takes two to tango, doesn't it? I think, you know. That's
what I mean. You know, I know we should lead by example, but really, you know, just a bit of courtesy.
Sometimes it's frustrating. Oh What about races? Have you got a favourite race you've done? Because I know you did the mini marathon when you was younger. Yeah,
but that's probably, I said, the last, when I was, you know, an adult, I did 10 years ago, was the Bushy, was it half marathon, or the Bushy, you know, so that's in Hertfordshire somewhere. And I said, I ran with my friend at that time, and he was the one who sort of got me back into the running, because he took it up. He was and obviously he was a lot better than me, so he did the thing, and he said he did it in like 10k in like 50 minutes or something, and I was like 107, and I was struggling up the hill, and I had this 80-year-old man in his singlet vest and all that zooming past me, and you know, it's like, you know, hats off to him, but you know, and it just made me feel like, you know, I said, I'll be honest, I can be go across a bit miserable. I need to get back into the racing thing, because I'm a little bit cynical with the thing that you have to pay, like, get a huge amount of sponsorship to like enter a marathon, and then, you know, but I do want to maybe do the park runs. I'm sort of, if you get like a few people encourage you to do it, maybe it's because I'm going in it on my own. I'm thinking, oh, what's the point? You know, but you know, that was the last sort of adult one. And I said, when I was a kid, I did every sort of track meeting, did all the cross countries, did the mini marathon, which was great experience at the time. You know, you know, you sort of, I don't know what age it's up to, but like 17 or something. It's like 11 to 17, and you get your T-shirt, and you know, you're in your age group sort of thing, and you run for your London borough, you know, for Brent at that time, and I think it was originally 3 miles, and then they shortened it to 2.5 miles, and and I remember running through that tunnel. I'm not sure where it is, but it's it's quite hard running through that, because it was so sort of full of fumes and things like that. But I really enjoyed the sights and sounds of London at that time. I do sort of, as I said, I think when the park run starts again, I think I will go into that, you know, because as I said, now I'm starting to know more people in the running community, because I said it was always a solitary thing I was doing. And so I think, you know, I will sort of go forward to that going forward. I think it's
weird. You always try and differentiate park running and races, and park running is a special thing of its own accord. You know, it's such a great atmosphere, and I bet there's many people who enjoy park runs more than a race and organised race event. And I haven't been. I wish I need to go to more park runs, and I will when it comes back. I'm hoping I might even interview a few people if I might take the microphone along with me and, you know, interview people.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
But because it's so friendly and you can chat to people, I used to turn up and just chat to anyone. I chatted to people I didn't know.
That's what I mean. All levels, no judging, no
judging, no nothing. And my park run probably about 25 minutes away, the closest one. I've got two that are about 25 minutes away. So yeah, just loads of randoms I could speak to. I'll do it at races as well. I don't, I'll speak to random people, but yeah.
Yeah, and you go to different cities, and different to run, like the marathons and stuff.
Different places and just meeting a whole host of different people.
I guess this whole experience, isn't it? Going up on the train or driving that or going, and in the hotel, getting all your kit all laid out, planning what shoes you're going to wear, isn't it? And, if you bought some expensive shoes you're going to wear, and you bought gear especially, or if it's the charity you're running for, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all part of the experience, isn't it?
It's all part of it. I mean, I race for a time for going for a time or PB for a long time now. I'm more myself do it. I'm quite relaxed and just enjoy my running.
Yeah.
Hence park run suits me quite well, but hey, we'll see what happens. But
fingers crossed.
Really enjoy it. What about distance wise? What is your favourite running distance? If I said to you now, okay, what would you like to run distance wise? What is your favourite?
Well, I think the one I get most satisfaction from is like the 10K, because it I don't know, it's silly really, it just sort of feels that's the least you should do, but I'm seeing like with the group and now because I was never part of Strava before, I was always using Map My Run, and then I'm seeing everyone's on Strava and they've got their little do 100 kilometers for the month, do 200 kilometers for the month, and ones do 300 kilometers for the month, and then it just makes you think, well, if I need to run every day, I need to calculate what sort of distance I need to run, and it has a challenge of do half a marathon a month. And I do struggle to do half marathons. I'm still, I still sort of wane towards the end. And I think, as I said, because in Stevenage you have to end up going all the way back up the hill by the end. And I think that's why no matter what direction I take, that's the one I sort of struggle with. But I as I said, I think 10K is the more sort of satisfying one, because you feel that you got a bit more in the tank. You could go nice and steady, and then sort of the last kilometre you can, as I said, I was able to break my 10K PB, recently, and I don't know, because it just gave you that boost of energy. You're not, your muscles with 5K. It feels like you're not quite warmed up yet. It's weird to say, isn't it? Unless you pace it really fast, you have to go faster, isn't it?
That's the difference. I was going to say, it's weird with running distances. If you speak about it in I suppose a race aspect, if you're going for a PB and so. 10K for me was like, I hated it.
Yeah.
I'd rather if I was going for a PB kind of time, I'd rather run a half marathon distance than a 10K, and I'd rather run an absolutely lung busting 5K, because I always struggle finding that middle with a 10K. I always used to go out at 5K pace and go, Christ, I've got to hang on now.
That's what I mean.
If you're talking about hill racing, then 10K is lovely.
That's what I mean. So let's just ask you, when you're doing the races, are you sort of following the guys in front of you, or are you just listening to what your Garmin watch says, about your usual pace times? Is that what you're doing, or do you sort of follow people,
Yeah, everyone's so different in this. And like I said, it's been a while since I've done a number of reasons, a proper race to go for a time. When I did, I would look at my Garmin, but not too much, because when I was training, it was almost like I knew what pace I was doing. I knew exactly. But within 10 seconds, I knew what my body was doing and what pace it was running at. But also, I did look, I don't know, let's say yards ahead of me, I'd focus on someone who was also running the same pace as me as well. I didn't used to listen to music when I ran a few years back either. So the focus was on the person in front who was keeping the same pace.
Because that's the thing, how long have the Garmin watches sort of been, in regular use? Because before, if you were running blind, as they say, do you understand what I mean?
Without nothing.
Were you able to judge it? Yeah. So were you able to judge? Which I guess if you do proper races, you wouldn't be allowed all those things. But so you burn yourself out trying to keep up with the guy in front of you or something, you know. But now you know what your level is, and you can manage it better. And
I think your body learns what to do. I think during the races, I'd always had the Garmin because I do glimpse to make sure that every time you glimpse during the race, it was like, well, I'm on pace still, and you know yourself if you're slowing down, if you're tiring out a bit. I'll still use a Garmin, but what's nice, I think, even nowadays, I do quite a few runs without the watch completely, not for racing or PB, to take the watch off and actually enjoy it, because I don't.
Just a
it's
a slow, easy recovery run, as they say, which no,
exactly. I mean, I mentioned it to Sarah last week. I did the solo virtual marathon, London Marathon last year. You know, again with that, I weren't going for a particular time. I just wanted to enjoy it. I had a rough idea of what pace I wanted to do because I wanted to do it a relaxed marathon, if that's a thing. It's still knackering.
Yeah, exactly.
It was wet and windy, and that's the other thing. You know, I think I did Great South Run about 3 years ago, and you turn back and come to the last 2 miles, and the wind absolutely smashes you, and then it gets hard to judge your pace. That's a different.
Yeah, and then you just want it to be over, and you've got no rhythm, isn't it? And you just, and you're just putting your head down. You know, I don't know. You're switching off, and it's boredom as well, isn't it? And you know,
I was tucking behind when I was doing that Great South Run. I was tucking behind people to coming hard at me.
Yeah,
just finding someone similar pace and just tucking in behind them a bit. You know, try and block it out.
Yeah,
seems to be the best way. But
let them be the shield. Yeah,
a lot of my running now for me, it's quite pleasant, easy runs. But I'll try and say it again eventually, and do another race soon.
Well, I think I'll just name check them. You know, Vanessa King on there. She sort of told me to do like the 80-20 thing without getting into detail, but it just totally works because that's the thing. I think I was just trying to run everything at the same pace, and she said, well, if you want to run every day and put it up, just slow it down on some days. It doesn't matter about the time, and I was realizing, in the end, just switch off and just run whatever pace, gentle pace. You don't always need to push it on, you know, and it has helped me a lot, I think, to keep going on my run streak at the moment. So
80-20 is great. I mean, for people listening, most people know what 80-20 is, but it's 80% easy runs, and then the other 20% you're going out quite hard. But the 80%, and I've read this, and I tried it. It was a struggle to slow down to the speed they kind of wanted because you're meant to be in zone 2 of your heart rate. And I struggled big time, but when I did start doing it, you realise how much more you're actually enjoying the run because it's so easy.
Well, you know what?
Going that slow, but
I don't know if you saw in the Runners World thing is this man in America in LA, and he's I think he's got the record at the moment for Strava, and something about he runs 20 miles a day, and he's done that for 20-30 years. And obviously he's in his mid 60s now, and he does it really slow now. But that's the thing. He says, I don't do it fast now. He says, if I don't do it, I feel, and obviously he's lucky he's in LA, so most of the time of the year the weather's really nice. It's probably a lot, so it's a lot more easy than trying doing it in this country. But he said, I just read into that article. He said that it takes like 5 hours, or for a 20 miles, so it's not a particularly fast time. So he's obviously just doing it leisurely now, you know. And that's what he said. He says that's how he does it. He just takes it slow, because he's the nature of his work. He's sort of semi-retired now, things like that. He's got the time. He says he feels he has to run. He runs with his daughters who are grown up now, and that's. And he says he doesn't know what he's going to do once he's not able to run. But
that'd be a worrying thing for him when he can't run no longer.
Exactly.
But no, I'm all for the easy, relaxed runs. So have you got any future running goals, like a distance goal, or is there a time you want to be? I know you said you recently did 10 kpb. So is there something else you have in mind?
Well, I think I would like to eventually get to marathon distance. I have been successful because obviously years I was always around the half marathon, and now I've got up to 15.5 miles. So I'm trying to do that little bit extra. So maybe to get 16 miles, 16.5, gradually up to 20. And I know and the problem at the moment is about refueling, and I run out of liquids. As you see, I'm drinking lots of liquids as I'm talking here.
I'm terrible for that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I'll need lots of wee after this, but yeah. So I just need to plan it right, but that's my thing. I don't know if I could do that in a race, but I know I'm a bit self-conscious about these things. Do you understand what I mean? And I know it might inspire me when I do the race, and you get people cheering you. But I think I don't know. I'd feel I'd need to rehearse it before I did.
That's
prepare for it. Before I do it. So that's the goal. And then if I can get to that half marathon distance, then who knows? I will. I try to not sort of say no. I'm never going to do that. Because I've got to this stage and I didn't think I'd do that. Do that far. I'd like to just get faster times. I've got what was it, about 28 minutes or something, 27 minutes for 5K, and obviously I can get down to 25, and and it just makes me laugh when some people posting kilometers per hour and miles per hour, and one guy in there, Matt Holmes, on the group, and he's put, and his miles per hour was faster than my kms per hour. It's like 6 miles per hour. Running, and
I know.
rather than I forgot what it is now. Yeah, but but he is. I think mine was like 6.5 kilometers per hour. And it's like, wow, these people are just, completely different level. And I've had it, guys just whizzing past me, and I just, so be it,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong, incredible the pace that some runners do, but never. I'd always give the advice: never worry about what someone else is doing going past.
Yeah.
Think about yourself. You really do. It might sound selfish, but you really just need to think about yourself and what you can improve in yourself, not what other people have done. Because again, do you know what? I had a little bit of it years ago. I used to see other people's times and stuff, and I'm sure you're aware of Strava segments as well.
Yeah.
I had a personal trainer around this area. I think I mentioned this a few times in the podcast. I used to go out and beat his segments, and he used to go the next day and beat them. Then I used to go out.
And they look at them, the local legend, and
if anyone's listening to this and they do segments, I get it. I know they're good and fun, but it did start getting a bit stupid in the end.
It's
not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Competition. It's quite. There's nothing wrong with a bit of competition, but at the same time, I think certainly in your case where you want to try and improve your 5K, just think of yourself and maybe break it up every 30 seconds or every minute you want to improve. Don't go, I know you said 28 minutes, then 25, but just go 28, 27, 26. Just aim each. Don't take too big chunks out of it, because then you start feeling disheartened if you go for take a big chunk and go for that. So
believe it or not, as I said, I know you can ask this sort of later, but as I said, I've done on the treadmill 10 years ago. It was like 23 minutes. So I know, but I was a completely different person then. So that's like 12 years ago, and and obviously it's different conditions. You could, and this is what I mean. It's not the same condition when you're running outside at all. So different.
No, treadmill's great. I do you know what? I got rid of my treadmill in the end. I did own one, and actually I really did enjoy running on the treadmill as well. It's a good bit of training. You should use Swift. Do you know the Swift for cycling? They do it for running as well. I don't know if you heard of Swift.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've seen.
Go on, that's my running. It's great fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, I've had a decent one. It's okay, but it's just not anything like the ones you get in the gym. That's the problem.
No. That's the problem. Yeah.
And the conditions in my kitchen, which is quite cool down there, and I have the door open, but it's not the same as a gym, is it? It's just
no.
I can't explain it. It's boring, and it's like the last resort. That's I call it the last resort.
You see, I used to have a screen up. I used to have a projector with Swift on the screen, so I was in a virtual world with other people anyway.
And you got people egging you on, and
or funny if we've talked about football. I used to have a football match on the projector while I'm on.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, it makes it past. Yeah, especially when the team's losing. Oh dear.
Now, I should have asked you this initially, but how long have you been in the running community group? Because as I say, I don't get to see everyone, so I want to have rough idea how long you've been in there.
Well, I'm trying to think because I'm not totally sure, but it must be about 6-7 months. I was part of some of the other groups.
Sure.
And, and the problem I had, and I'm not mentioning names, but
no, that's all right.
There was a lot of not particularly. They were like making derogatory comments. Oh, someone's posting their selfie again, and and like if I would post, oh, I've got these new shoes. Or what would you need them for? You ain't no Kit Koj and things like that. And it was just a lot of. And you get these little bickering arguments, and then just uncomfortable things you saw in other groups. Like if there's, a woman running on there, and she happens to be quite attractive, you just get men writing inappropriate comments, and it was just. And then I don't know. This group was suggested to me. I think you join one group, and then Facebook suggested it to, and I joined it, and straight away the positivity of the group was just like, And it's obviously it's impossible to sort of congratulate everyone, and you get certain. I think on weekends it's just so everybody does their run, and I don't know. It's just and the more and more you sort of say well done, so and so, well done, and then some people you do, which I like. You get a bit more of an exchange with people, and you get in a bit of a chat. That's generally what I like to do. I try and sometimes you try and crack a joke. It might go flat, or sometimes it's a thank you, but sometimes you have a little banter going on with the memes, the gifs, and it it's quite little funny, and you just sort of get to know people, and then people sort of engage with you. Oh, what shoes have you? What ones are those? Or what would you and they're asking me things like that, or they're just suggesting things. Well, why don't you do this next time? Or I'm sorry that it didn't work out today, but I'm sure you'll do it good next time. It's just that positive, and there's no one sort of being fake or insincere. And as I said, I do like to sort of have a laugh, and as I said that I do sort of see people come up with the same expressions, and it does make me laugh. Says, "Oh, I put 20 miles in the bag today," and I think, are they going to sell a bag in the running community shop? When they get one of these bags from, like people use the same phrases over and over again, and you just, but it's all good. Everybody's sort of positive, and as I said, and you sort of see people's stories, don't you? And some people open up on there. I've not had a good week this week, and things like that. And as I said, I've had some terrible news recently. As I said, my half sister's partner, who was a very keen runner, he just passed away in his sleep. So it's just the reaction I got on there, so people just.
No, I'm sorry to hear that, and I know. Yeah, I did actually remember seeing that post.
Because as I said, it's just still come out of the blue, and as I said, and he was just said same sort of thing. He was liking my Strava. He was like seeing comments I make, and said it just come out of the blue, and
it's terrible. It's such a shame, isn't it? It's such a shame. I mean, I'm similar to you. I used to be in a few running groups before I made the running community, and I always thought, this could be better. There's a lot of stuff that can be done better here, and one of the initial reasons why I started running a community group, and I like to let everyone try and be themselves. It's funny, I let people, and I always say, look, this is especially for mental health. Please feel welcome to post if you're struggling, if you're having a really crap day and you're struggling, even if it's not necessarily about running. Please post. If you need someone to speak to, post up on the group.
Open up.
And there's a number of people. I won't list loads of names, but I've had so many messages saying thank you so much for allowing me to post in the group, even if it's not necessarily about running. Thank you for letting me let people know I had a crap day, and because they get support from it, and you get the positive energy.
I think I've seen people do it's maybe their only outlet. As I said, maybe they don't feel they can talk so much at home, or they just want to hear a different voice. and as I said, the main reason is, and you probably had it yourself on your own Facebook page. I used to post my runs, and you get someone post a sarcastic thing. Oh, someone's showing off again, are they? And who cares? And I can understand. I do. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, there's a lot of things. When you think of back to the days in the early days of Facebook, when you look to your old feed. I used to moan about everything, talk about everything. Have you noticed now, people hardly say anything now, do they? They're so scared of what it looks like. And now I think people have retreated to these groups where you feel like you can express yourself and be more yourself. And, and obviously we're a bit more aware of what things might be perceived as, isn't it? It can come across. But I don't know, I think in this group, it's just the chemistry's right. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no... you've probably seen other ones, and there's competitive people. There's people sort of, you've seen it in the local community groups, the general groups, and it's all about politics or it's issues, and it just gets into this big row. I've never seen any rows go on as such. It's a few conversations, but not anything really that's. And as you said, and if you've said it, this is not a dating site. No inappropriate comments. No politics, just keep it neutral. We can discuss issues that might affect us, and this and it's very hard to get, and maybe you just got all the right people looking for the same thing.
I think you've got so many people looking for the right thing, and I've got to give credit to my moderators as well, because unfortunately you're never going to stop everyone or every person from coming in saying something really stupid and an argument happening, but normally it is dealt with as quick as we can in the group, and people PMing ladies, like I said, if a lady runner does put a nice picture up, and you get some pests, as I like to call them.
It's really, isn't it? It cringes.
If I find out they're banned, then it's just not on. It's not appropriate. It's not for the group. It's not a dating site. The ladies don't really want you coming saying, "Oh, you're looking good today. Oh, by the way, could I have some more pictures of you?" And
it's really
I get messages quite a bit, and I'm quite strict with it. I always say to everyone in the group, like maybe you've seen me say it there before, if this is happening, you need to let me know. If you want to hit the report button or comment, do it, because unless you let me know, I won't see it unless you let me know. And the more I told about it, it's not grassing, it's not being sneaky.
No, but
being honest. It's just being honest, and the more I see it, the more I can keep the group as good as it is. And the same with Winnie and Ellen, who help moderate. They've been messaged a few times about certain things, which is good. Communication is good, because it just keeps the group safe and it keeps it fun. And keeps it really, really positive. And it's amazing.
Also, have you ever met them in person, or is it just literally on the group?
Well, Ellen and Wendy.
Yeah, are they all over the country? I don't know.
Never met them.
Right. But, one day.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was planning meets last year. We was all going to meet up last year. I was actually planning a group meet as well, and obviously because of COVID, I couldn't. Now the running community is going to be 2 years old soon.
Right, it's not. I thought it was older than that. Yeah.
That is. You would think so because of the way it's grown.
Yeah,
I never expected that growth myself. And I'm trying to think. Do you know what? I was running it on my own till just before lockdown, and that's the first time I made someone moderator. So I was actually looking after the group. I think it had about 15,000 people in it then, and it was hard work. I won't deny it. It was amazing, incredible place, but it was hard work doing it on my own. And I thought, no, I need to get moderators in. And don't get me wrong, there's a few people in the group who I know in real life, so to speak. But Alan just was there from near the beginning, and his passion for the group was actually just so clear.
He says congrats to everybody. I don't know how he keeps up with it.
But I've met them on Zoom. I spoke to them on Zoom and so on. That's the way we did it. And I sat down one day and literally said, I need moderators, I need a bit of help, and I know there's a few passionate people in the group. And Alan was the first one. Yeah, Alan was the first one asked to be moderator, and he was just absolutely delighted, which is what's amazing for me. I was like,
he's got a
person. And he loves it. He absolutely adores the place. Yeah, I think if he and his heart be like, yeah, I
feeds
love
off it.
I think
Feeds off for everyone.
And he's going through a crap time. His ankle's shattered from a previous injury.
Yeah.
And he's waiting for an operation. It sucks for him because he can only run about 2 hours a week.
Aching to run,
But I'm pestering him. So he pesters the doctors more. I know it's COVID.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get it sorted, but I'm like, look, if
that's the problem. It's not priority, is it?
No, it's not priority. And he's in pain with it. I'm like, no, come on, push. So I'm trying to keep on top of him, trying to make him push for him more. And Wendy is, she's a bit of a nuttier one. She won't mind me saying that at all.
Yeah, Wendy the Flipper. Wendy the Flipper.
Yeah, she brings a great laughs and giggles to the group, and a bit different from Alan, but she also loved the group so much, and she was a fairly new runner actually. She was actually when she joined.
I wouldn't know what her normal face looks like. She keeps sort of making fully facing faces.
Watch her podcast, episode 2 of the Runners Interviewing.
All right, yeah,
you're actually normal.
Yeah, I know. It's just
you'll see her actually normal, but no. Yeah, it's a tremendous group. It's incredible. It inspires me every single day when I get up. Before I go to bed, and it's grown. Never thought it'd grow that much. Not to that extent, but it's very pleasing. It's rewarding for many people, including myself.
And as I said, I'm making my purpose. I'm writing, in the notes, like how I'm going to phrase this post, and I'm doing it, I think, for the group. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I was doing it on the Instagram, but now I know that people in the group are going to read it. On the Instagram, no one's really going to, it's just whoever sees the tag, whatever you tag the word in, But I'm seeing people do actually read what I say, and it's really, heartening, nice to see.
It's so rewarding. No,
yeah, definitely.
It really is rewarding. But no, absolutely love it, and it keeps growing, and it keeps the same. It's a sensible group. It's a nice group, and hopefully we'll keep it that way. Hopefully we'll keep it that way. We should do. No reason why not. Do you know your PBs?
Okay, I'll just have to get them off the Strava.
Yes, get the notes out. Or Strava.
That's the problem with that one. Is it says you're estimated. So I'm sure that I did run it, but instead it's your estimated. I don't know if I have to pay for the the proper subscription, but yeah. So as I said, I'd mentioned on a treadmill 12 years ago when I was about 88 kilos in weight. Now I'm like just over 100 kilos, but hoping to go down. I did a 5K in 23 minutes, but on outside here, I did it recently. It says it's 27 minutes 54, which maybe other times in my life I've run it fast, but I wouldn't have a clue.
You would know. That's fair enough.
Yeah, so I didn't have but I hope to obviously get that down and with time. 10K on the treadmill 10 years ago, it said I did it in about 48 minutes.
Awesome.
But outside it says I've done it 56 minutes 56 seconds. So yeah, not that great. And for the half marathon, it says 2 hours 15:25. So I want to. Obviously, I've seen people going down to 2 hours, so that would be my target. I think to try and go to 2 hours. I don't think it's unattainable. It's just getting that pace on each sort of mile or each, isn't it? That regular pace, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When did you say 2:15? You've done?
Yeah, 2:15. So I think on the not the last one. I think the one before that I did. Yeah, so maybe. January's one, I think.
You definitely aim for under 2 hours.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think I faded on the last one because I did it in the reverse route, and then I just faded, and I think the long hill on the way up I just ran out of steam. I think that's the problem. So
no, fair enough. But you'll always get stronger running up the hills, don't you worry.
Yeah.
No, you could do under 2 hours. I'm sure that's a really good aim. Actually, that's a fun aim to go for.
That's what I mean. I've seen sort of people, around sort of my age group, and yeah, just the next thing, hopefully.
No, good. No, really good, and hopefully the group can help push you towards that as well.
Yeah, but as I said, it's just managing it, isn't it, and just not burn yourself out.
Burn yourself out, yeah. That's
planning the route, isn't it, and just having the right few, drinks or gels or whatever, isn't it, at the right time.
All trial and error.
Yeah, exactly.
Music when you run. Do you listen to music when you run?
Well, I used to. I used to always have the Amazon, got the Amazon Music, and because I was a singer, so I used to download all the
yourself?
cover song. Yeah, the covers. No, I do listen to my own music, but like possible. What I used to do is like all the songs that because I'm playing in venues, and what songs I think might work, I try and learn them whilst I was on a run. But now obviously I've got my set lists all set out. I don't really want to hear it so much, so now I'm tending to listening to podcasts, which I love football, so I listen to BBC Sounds, Radio 5 Live, the sport. They've got the Monday Night Club. Love listening to that. It's just the banter. Micah Richards on there. He's on Sky Sports. He's just so funny on that, and it's just the exchanges between them. And I also love listening to, the World Football Phone-In with Dalton Adebayo and Tim Vickery. He's like the South American football expert the BBC always sort of churn out whenever there's a Brazil game, and them two just talk. It's basically a phone in where people phone in about questions about world football, and they'll have an expert from a region, in around the world, and you just get the same characters call in, week in, week out, and it's just the banter between them, and so it feels like you're talking with your mates. So that's what, and it's so relaxing, and it doesn't get boring hearing them, and and the exchanges with them. And they also do one of the Brazilian football Football Shirt podcast, which is on Spotify, and they just talk about a famous game, over history. So it would be England World Cup won in 1966, or it'd be like a European Cup final, Liverpool ones or stuff like that, and they'll discuss the music was around at the time, what things are happening in the news, and they'll talk about the game, and they'll talk about the tactics. And I don't know, as I said, I'm just a bit geeky about those things. I love.
That's good. If you enjoy it, and I listen to podcasts more than music now. Mostly running podcasts, funny enough. Runners Interview, Run Pods I listen to. And I've got to give a shout to a club called Run Things as well, because they don't do too many, but when they do, they're funny. Yeah. And the guy who runs the Run Things running club, he was actually a pacer at Brighton Marathon
all right,
2 years ago, and he was pacing 3:30. So I was with him. I didn't get 3:30, but I was with him up to mile 21, and he was actually making cracking jokes during pacing. So,
that's what I mean, and it's nothing to them, isn't it?
I listen to him on a podcast, but he's great. He's great. But no, I love podcasts now.
Yeah, they to be honest, as I said, with the music, you tend to listen to the same one, and it's okay, but you tend to want to skip a song, or you sort of get tired of one. And I just found the talking one, and obviously you only have to listen to it once, and then they do another one the next week, and news is always changing. There's always
something
one that and one that I used to listen to. They don't do it anymore, but it was Andy Flintoff, and it was his name, Robbie Savage, and the ping pong guy. And I used to love that one because it's not been on for like 2 years, because obviously he does Top Gear now. But then they used to talk about they were like have children, so they're talking, I think their kids were all different ages, so they talk about how it is for men dealing with their children, with the mental health. They talk about their sports situations, and I forgot what his name is, the guy, the ping pong guy, but he's written, was it the black box theory or something, that putting yourself in the zone, things like that. So it's just fascinating listening to how they talk about their experiences. So I missed that one. That's the one that I wish that they would still do. Because you can relate to it.
They bounce off each other well, don't they, as well? Yeah,
that's what I mean. And just, and as I said, it was funny, but it was heartwarming as well. You can relate to it, and it's a breeze listening to it. Yeah, so
no, good. You'll love this one, won't you?
You're on to
What running shoes do you run in?
I don't know if you notice in the background.
I can see them all. That's not it. Maybe I should change the question to, so don't go on for long. We should say, what's your favourite running shoe?
Okay, well, I obviously, I just happen to have here. Okay, I'll keep it brief because I don't want to bore people to death. But I don't know if you've seen from my posts, everybody goes, "How many shoes have you got? How many shoes have you got?" And as I said, there's another Facebook group called Running Shoe Geeks, which I think
Yeah,
is
I know.
primarily and you think I'm bad. Seriously, there's people there. As I said, there's a lady on there. She's told me she's got 40 pairs of shoes, and I've seen her selling her old ones, because she just can't. And as I said, I've developed a bad shoe shopping habit. That's the bad thing. But I have tried to sort of calm it down a bit. I think it was last year, I think the Kit Koj thing, the super shoe thing just made me think, I just want to see what that shoe's like. What is all this big deal about? And at that time, it was so hard to get. And then I bought, was it the Vaporfly?
Yeah.
On a Spanish site, and unfortunately I got the wrong size because it was European sizes. I'm a 10.5 UK 10.5, and it ended up being a UK 9.5. I was trying to squeeze my foot into this. I don't know if you ever tried the Vaporfly. It's
I haven't.
but let me put it this way, it's so tight fitting anyway, even the best time, and it's like got this vapor weave, feels like a plastic bag, and it's
quite narrow, aren't they, in general?
Yeah, trying to wedge my foot into it. And I was trying to convince myself I can use this. I can use. In the end, before I ran in it, I said I've got to sell this shoe. I can't use this. This costs a fortune. But anyway, after that, I started buying like all the hot shoes are out at that time. But to cut a long story short, the shoe that I really love is the Adidas. I've got two shoes that are my favourite shoes at the moment. One is the carbon plated one, which I know people have made lots of things about. Is it necessary for slow runners? Blah, blah, blah. But I just love the shoe. And as I said, it's broken record. Yeah. So I don't use it every day. I've got daily trainers that don't have carbon plates. So I've got lots of but as I said, I just love the getting the camera. The Adidas Pro. And I was just attracted to that wedge of midsole. Yeah. I don't know why. It's just and look, it's got no grip on it. It's just
and
it just fascinated me, but it just feels amazing. It's so sort of propulsive, so springy. So that's my sort of favourite fast shoe, and the latest one one of the latest ones I bought, which is my favourite sort of everyday long trainer shoe, is the Invincible.
Oh yes. Okay.
And again, look, huge wedge of Zoom X midsole. And as I said, I know people said it's very expensive and clunky and all
but
that.
if you enjoy it, then you enjoy it, don't you?
I love this shoe because I've done my longest runs in it, and it's so like springy and all that. So yeah.
Awesome.
I do love that. So yeah. Okay, I'll move on. I don't want to bore you.
No, that's all right. I'll tell you what.
I could talk. Yeah.
I reckon you already answered this. It's a little test for you. What is this shoe?
That's the Saucony Endorphin Speed.
Well done.
I love that colourway. Because I've got the Pro, but I always get muddled up with the back. Yeah, I've got the back thing. It's blending into your background. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't help, does it? Yeah, sorry for everyone listening to this on the Spotify out for their run. We're holding.
Yeah, love that shoe.
The camera a bit. I only bought it recently, and I only got to do one run. I am recovering with a slight knee niggle at the moment, so I'm absolutely gutted. I bought it 2 weeks ago and doing one run with them. So hey, something to look forward to though.
Brilliant shoe. I wish I bought that one instead of the Pro because it's more versatile, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what running watch do you have?
Okay, so at the moment I don't currently have one, but I have. Do you like follow the Instagram? There's that. Have you seen that guy Ben Johnson? Not the disgraced runner, but there's a guy. And Jamie's running as well, and Ed Budd, and they got Coros. Have you heard of? Yeah, so I've hinted to the wife, I want to get a Coros Pace 2, which is about 180 or something like that. But they say it's quite simple to use, and it's a bit, I'd rather, I know everybody goes for Garmin. I'm sure it's brilliant, but I'm just liking the look of it. So that's hopefully I will be getting that soon, which I can then get a more accurate picture of my runs because those apps all say different times, different distances. I really have no idea what my PB is really. No, I think Strava's generous, isn't it? And I think the others are mean. So.
I think using an app on a phone and fair play to people who do it, but it's not the most accurate way ever, is it? Let's be honest.
No, but that's what I mean. So I would get a more accurate picture, and I think, and I was seeing everybody getting it. As I said, I think I just spent too much on shoes to get a watch. Was the problem.
You know, well, it's only one pair of shoes to watch.
I know. No, but the latest ones, I have to get them.
Oh, brilliant. I always check this one in there. Your favourite meal?
Okay, I think originally from London, and I've always loved pie and mash.
Awesome.
But of course, you can't get it anywhere, can you? So that's the problem. Yeah, they all closed them down. Yeah, but they used to have one in Stevenage, but unfortunately closed down. And I love all, you know, Italian. I love pasta, of course. I love Indian, Mexican, all these sort of foods. You know, I don't eat the best. I'll be honest. I do like to eat naughty food, but yeah, I think the pie and mash is the thing that I like. Oh, I just got to have, you know. But unfortunately, I just can't get it anywhere. So there's not that many around.
What do you grab? What's your go-to takeaway?
It's probably I said the Just Eat one has been brilliant. So I've just been getting a KFC or Burger King at the moment because McDonald's don't deliver to.
No,
it's terrible, isn't it? And,
well,
you know,
we're lucky you got them because where I live, you don't get much.
I know, but it's been a godsend, really, as that Just Eat one. You know, save you queuing up, doesn't it?
And one final question, Gavin. What is one thing you would say to encourage other runners?
Okay. So I think one of the things people say is, "Oh, how are you able to run further distances? How do you get better?" And something Davina McCall said years ago, I think it was on like random, maybe it was like Chris Moyle's show on the radio. She just said that if you want to improve, you know, try and you run for 1 minute, then the next time run for 2 minutes, you know, double it up and just gradually increase. And, you know, just don't gradual progress. You don't, you know, Rome's not built in a day. You're not going to run a marathon in a day. Just build it up slowly. Yeah. So just
build it
and
up
enjoy
slowly.
it. Don't rush yourself. Yeah. Enjoy it and don't rush. Is no, you know, do it at your own pace. Yeah.
No, that's great advice. And I think we've come to an end. That's it.
Yeah, sorry if I've gone well over your time. You probably
no, I don't have a time limit. No, I don't have a time limit at all. So no, you're all good.
People still listen to it by this point. They must.
Well, yeah. If they say, well, it's a bonus.
You're still on about traders or something, isn't it?
That's it. No, Gavin, thank you so much for joining us on the Runners interview. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Take care, Gavin.
Thank you. You too.
Cheers. So yeah, thank you everyone. If you've got to the end of the podcast, hopefully you're still with us. And if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you very much as well. With all our podcasts are available on Spotify, Apple Music as well, basically everywhere. And people listen to them when they're running. I've had people watch us on YouTube on a TV before. So yeah, whatever floats your boat. Don't forget to visit therunningcommunity.club and also come and visit our Facebook group as well. Just go on Facebook and type the Running Community and you're there. Come and join us if you haven't already. So take care, everyone. Stay safe and we'll do another podcast soon. Thank you.